Oh, hello. Finishing up last 11 for my warrior this week, but I've been testing out the different curios. I thought I would kind of show what I'm seeing on the Overdrive Pylon. I think that will be more useful than it would appear to be from the tooltip. So if you're looking at the tooltip, it says after 30 seconds of combat, you get 20% more damage and healing for you and Brann. It only occurs once per combat, so that is accurate. What isn't readily apparent is once the buff goes up uh, and you enter the next combat, that combat can actually refresh the buff, so it doesn't have to wait till the first buff drops off. So you can kind of keep it rolling. Where I do find it pretty helpful is if you're taking a healer in, using Brann as a tank, because some of those boss fights take a long time, or even the bigger mini bosses. So it's a nice boost during that time. But got a couple weak auras set up, which I'll show here. So in this area right here, we'll see a couple weak auras pop up for both and I'll make them bigger here, both the countdown as we get to, so in, oops, sorry, forgot I had a push to talk set this time around, but uh, you get a countdown as you enter combat, let you know, this is how long before that overdrive pylon is going to kick into action. And then I also have an icon for the buff itself. And then you'll be able to see both icons up at the same time, because even though you got the buff up, you're going into the next pack and that combat timer will start triggering again. So that timer triggers every time you start combat, which is, yeah, like I said, I don't think it's really apparent from the tooltip. But I'll run through here. You can kind of see how it works.
The sacred flame guides me.
I haven't done this scenario in a while. We did go with the foot bombs as well, so that'll be the combo we're running this run.
There's treasure close by.
Now in this one, we got to dispel these bubbles, and the first thing we got to do is go over and get that supply chest. So we don't really have a requirement to be killing lots of mobs, so in this run, we're going to try to avoid whatever mobs we can. Oh, so we did have a devouring shade patrolling, but it looks like we get the underpin guy instead. Of all the different underpin guys, that's the easiest one to deal with, I think. So one thing you can do in Nightfall Sanctum is, so of course you walk over these things on the ground here, then you get targeted from the ship. However, they're rather indiscriminate on how they shoot that down, and they can friendly fire their own mobs, so that helped me take out that pack there. Though sometimes that doesn't work out as you had planned. You can also go inside the shadow barriers if you're trying to skip past mobs. Sometimes they'll stick treasure chest here under the bridge. You also want to check that. So I got my buff up from the Overdrive Pylon now, but you'll see that the countdown will start ticking down for the next buff as soon as I enter combat up here. And I'll get the buff again. Though that looked a little bugged, so I wonder if I did notice past couple days that, like yesterday, at first the Overdrive Pylon wasn't trackable at all, but today it is. So maybe Blizzard's still tinkering with these things.
Smell that? It's treasure. I know it. We're close.
We didn't really have to kill that guy, but there was a foot bomb on the ground, and those are fun to kick. One thing that'd be nice if they adjust is how the foliage covers up these effects from the different things they got going on.
Those ships are coming for us!
Those explosives guys there are actually not too fun to deal with, so. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to kill some of these guys up here, get that buff, and then go into that underpin pack. That's what we're going to do. So my weak aura is showing we got 24 seconds worth before that buff comes up. Hey, that went. That actually went as I planned. Alright. Those guys apply a debuff, that gold fuse, and actually does a pretty solid amount of damage, so I've had that kill me a couple times. So that Weeping Shade and the Shade Guard are both kind of tough opponents there, so see if we can do the Shade Guard first. More explosive guys. So I think we're going to use that same trick. We'll get the Initiate first, and then we'll try to plow those guys. Yeah, a gold fuse is no joke. Alright. So these three guys are a little bit tough actually, so we're going to want to focus the Inquisitor, if I remember right. But we may as well go into combat with that buff. And I think this fight will actually be long enough to show that while you've got the buff, you can actually be accumulating the next buff. And done. So of course we're still testing out these different curios. Some have more usefulness it seems than others. So the automatic foot bomb does pretty good amount of damage. If you're healing, you're going to go with the ping to augment chip is the best way to go. Just remember that when Brann gets that little guy that targets him that'll stun him, you can actually just cleanse him and that'll make the guy go away. Makes it real easy if you're healing. And I think the Overdrive Pylon actually, I was gaming it a little bit here on the DPS tune, but I think it's actually more useful if you are healing because it'll help you with those long fights. Pacifist Rig is a pretty decent one as a DPS, and then the Loot Raider is not bad. Any enemies, let's see, so enemies below 95% health when it scans, and it scans every 30 seconds or 5 seconds after entering combat, so if you enter with a little bit of burst, you can get them. You get 10% more damage for 15 seconds, which works out actually extremely well for the if you're plowing through 8s to fill out the rest of your delve slots. That's what I've been using, and helps you get through that a little quicker. You can also do the biofuel rocket gear, which once again, if you're speeding from pack to pack through 8s, you get more movement speed and haste, and you can keep it stacked pretty much the whole run as long as you're constantly pulling. But I think some of these other ones are a little more fun. I haven't found a lot of use for the large magnet, not yet. But if you are having trouble taking too much damage, well, that gives you a shield. Though I would say the Pacifist Rig is actually your better bet because you're immune while you're in it, and you can do some damage too. So if you're struggling a little bit to get through these alive, Pacifist Rig is a good one to try. Well, hopefully learned a little bit watching. There is links to my Overdrive Pylon weak auras. I'll put that in the description. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.